Hello there, lovely people. It's absolutely wonderful to be back here this week on Girls Run These Worlds for Afterlife Wandering Souls, uh, which is the system that we are going to be using for our game of Afterlife Hotel Nexus. We are in session 4 this week, which means we're reaching the halfway point. Our mid-season finale is today. Oh my God, we're halfway through the story, and so many emotional things have already happened. So amazing, so wonderful. I am so excited to get into everything about this because this can go a lot of different directions today, as decided by my players. And as you know, players always choose the best, they always make the best decisions. Yes. So before I get into all of that, I just want to give a content warning for everyone ahead of time. I normally do this a little bit after cast introductions, but given the content that could come up today and such, there's a lot that I want to just preface this stream with. So, number one, this game of Afterlife Wandering Souls deals a lot with death. The players are literally playing people who've been stalled from moving on to their form of the literal afterlife, to the beyond, to reaching their requiem. As a result, elements of grief, of memory loss, of trauma, of very difficult, messy relationships, some of which do very much, given how we've tried to talk about things ahead of time, go into the toxic and frankly abusive with a couple of our characters. So, because of that, I want to stress if you feel at any given point that this is not the kind of content that you can safely engage with, we understand. And please feel free to head out if you need to. No stream, no AP is ever worth you sacrificing your mental health for. We mean that in multiple different ways that can come out in. And I also want to add additional warnings that this episode in particular may very well include a lot of elements of isolation and fire. So if you have a particular anxiety around such things, please be aware. Please know this going into this before continuing to watch. We love you for all the continued support you've given us, and we understand that support can come in a variety of different forms. They're not just tuning in, but we love seeing you there. So, all that out of the way, I'm going to let this amazing cast introduce themselves. So, their name, pronouns, and who they're playing in pronouns. And so, going to let that start off with the saddest boy ever, Mirage.
That's me. I am also the saddest boy, as well as who I am playing. Hi, I'm Altamirage. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Altamirage. Uh, I'm they, them, and I'm playing Ophir, who is a he, they, and also just gender is sad twink.
That's not specific, Ophir. That's quite a lot of people I know.
It's my
But
favorite flavor.
yeah, it's a good flavor. It's a good flavor of gender. Carrying on with the fantastical nature of possibly causing confusion to everyone's gender in some way, shape, or form. Let's pass that over to DK. I could have said any one of
Hi,
you, and
hello.
you would have been complimented.
That's me. Uh, I am DK. My pronouns are she, they, and I will be playing noted explorer Quest Nightingale, whose pronouns are also conveniently she, they.
Convenience. Also, the fantastic, the wonderful, also incomparable Diana Moon.
Hello, everybody. I go by Diana Moon Online. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Captain Jimena, who uses she, they. Um, and they have been trying to keep everyone above board, I guess, like with everything that's going on and not doing a great job of it, but that's them.
Middling results, average results. We'll see if that gets better after today's start to the session. But continuing on, the amazing, the wonderful, the here for the vibes and chillest person I've possibly ever met, Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina. That's she, her. I am playing Antonia, also she, her. Very.
You are actually a manifestation of sunshine in human form, dear. We all love you for this. We also all very easily love one of my favorite people in the entire world. It's Aida, our producer.
Hello, my name is Aida. My pronouns are she and her, and I will be playing Ren, whose pronouns are they and them. And they're looking to let the world know that they are the hot shit.
You say hot shit and immediately think, huh, that might become much more literal today, depending on how things go. Anyways, continuing on with all of that and that very, very mild threat, I'm going to get us back into what is likely to be a very exciting session. As last we left off, our group of souls who have been stalled from moving on to paradise, rest, requiem, whatever term you choose for your respective afterlife perspective on death. Our group has been wandering around Hotel Nexus, a sort of nexus point in which souls converge for whatever reasons for not having moved on. Something holds them there. And chosen to try and recover the memories they've lost exploring limbos. The last one they explored was a literal world of floating islands that they arrived on the eve of an apocalyptic eclipse, which, nearing the end of their adventure in it, nearly got them consumed by the maw of a giant fog-dwelling creature. As you do. But having come back and at least two of the party trying to process that experience with each other, another one taking a swim, two folks, one being unintentional wing person and then left to sleep somewhere while the other enjoys themselves with a chain-smoking lesbian, as I'm sure many of us have on many an occasion, to our delight. The group has decided to once again go through to the gallery of memories to enter one of the limbos of Nexus, their own sort of separate planes of existence to recover fragments, to unearth the memories that they've lost. However, while having food and just sitting down chatting, still recovering from the day's past events, one Ophir was called over by an individual, an older gentleman, who has allowed them to sit down with him and given the name Mr. Moses. And that, my lovely cast, is where we are picking up as our resident sad boy, Ophir, is seated in front of I did not give a good physical description of him before, so let's add some details so you have a sense of what the man in front of you is. He looks a bit on the older side. He's somewhere in the range of probably mid-50s, early 60s somewhere. He has the look of a man who's very seasoned, like he's seen quite a lot of different things, interacted with quite a lot of different types of folks. Very salt and peppery kind of hair, maybe receding a little bit, but definitely not in that way where he's like tried to comb it over or like justify the lack of hair by just obscuring reality. Very nice looking cigar in his hand. Very high quality. Sitting there wearing a suit that in some light looks kind of almost like a gray tone to it, while others there's black and maybe even in some angles like kind of a pinstripe effect. It looks very, very finely tailored specifically for him. He looks like kind of a decent build, but very much that kind of person who's not like trying to be super heavy exercise conscious, just like I work out occasionally. I keep myself like in his mind healthy with giant air quotations around it, and just sort of sitting there with an air of like observation, probably an element of judgment, but just sort of as you come over, as he sat down in front of him, just lights up his cigar. Hello.
Oh. Hello. How are
Would you
you?
like anything in particular? I can tell them to grab you something more specific if you'd like some more food.
Whatever you're having.
Mm. Whatever name the head of the services here, her name is, he doesn't use the right name. He just calls her over. Like whispers something to her ear, and you see like the like short time later. I'm just gonna go with one of the more pretentious dishes I can do. Also, one of the ones that like takes a bit of time to actually get right. It's yeah, what the hell? It's like beef bourguignon. Like even the plating looks significantly much more quote unquote high class than everything else. And no one around here has necessarily tried to use that. It just seems like Moses has specifically like asked for things to be decorated in such a way so that it projects a certain image about himself.
Mm-hmm.
But it does the same for you.
Thank you.
Of course. Are you much of a drinker?
Sure.
Excellent. Once again, calls over another staff, doesn't use the right name, and see, pours brandy.
Do you mind if I ask? What is it that you want?
Conversation. It's one of the best things you can have in this place.
Sure. Okay. I can do that.
So how are you doing here, kid? How are you handling being here?
It's a really good question. Everything seems like a fog, but I feel like that isn't unusual, I guess.
You don't need to worry about that part. You're definitely not weird in that sense. Pretty much everybody who's arrived here at some point or another has a fog about them. They don't remember too many details. Hell, I barely remember my name. Which, speaking of which, so that I'm not, demeaning you or anything, what name would you like me to refer to you by?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot.
No. That's why I'm asking. I want you to tell me.
My name is Ophir.
Ophir. Very nice. Very lovely name you have there, Ophir. My name is Robert.
Do you rather me call you Robert or Mr. Moses?
I don't have any power over you. You're welcome to call me whichever one you'd like. If you'd like to call me Mr. Moses, I'd appreciate it. If you'd like to call me Robert, you can. It's just a matter of what choice would you like to make?
Okay, right. He's just going to very awkwardly start to eat.
Yeah, tuck in, enjoy yourself. This place is fantastic when it comes to a lot of different things. Food quality is always the highest. You never have to pay for anything of that sort. Pretty good when you think about it.
This is, I think, the most that I've ever been able to eat, and food variety is really nice, and it's just this part has been really nice, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Have you gotten to explore much around here?
Well, a little. I've mostly been in the garden. Feel a little uneasy inside, but it's nice to paint in the garden.
It's pretty out there. It's pretty out there. Wish they had a little bit more variety in some of the, garden installations and such, but it's pretty nice out there. You get a little tired just looking at, condor, a snake, a condor, those sorts of things. But
I think the theming is really interesting around everything. I'm sorry I interrupted.
no. You're actually talking to me. That's a good thing. I like it when folks I talk to try and open up a bit. You never really establish a relationship with people if you just have one person talking at you, you know? It's not how a conversation goes.
Yeah.
I'm curious though. like starts like patting the end of the cigar down on a little catcher he has, and just. Have you had a chance to see the gallery by any chance?
Yeah, yeah, briefly. I mean, we, my, we did go there, yeah. There.
You look like you're about to say something else. Come on, you can speak up. Come on.
It was just a lot, that's all.
Kind of place is a lot for folks like us. Are you happy with what you found?
I don't think so.
There's a lot of people who aren't always happy with what they find in those places. Hell, I don't remember being too happy about some of the one or two times I've been in there myself.
Do you intend on going back?
Nah, there's no point in it, really.
So you're content to stay here?
Of course I do. No one's kicking me out. No one has control over me here. If you think about it. In a lot of ways, no one has control over you at all while you're here. I mean,
Yes, that's true.
let me put it to you this way. A little bits I remember in my life. Some people were upset, something about a highway and some transit systems that might have been involved around decisions. Maybe it would have been somewhere around New York or what have you. I don't remember exactly. But, you know, here's the interesting thing about looking at your life, whatever that past life was, versus looking at here. In that past life, you made some choices, right? You remember enough that you've probably made some not great choices in your life, right?
He doesn't necessarily respond. He just kind of looks down.
I'll take the silence as a yes. But think about this for a second. Do you really think you had a choice in a lot of those different things? Like just sit with it for a moment. All the shitty housing you maybe had to deal with, subpar food you had to eat, all the struggles you used to have, all that stuff. You really think you can have a choice in all of that?
Yeah, I, I don't think I really did have a choice.
Exactly. But here, well, things are a little bit different. I mean, think about it for a sec. Oh, fear. You get to choose if you want to go into that gallery. You get to choose if you want to use the bath, the echo chamber, the arboretum, and just relax, or you can try and, remember things. You can try and remember the kinds of stuff that someone else, like, Jean Paul, would tell you are important for you to remember. Because there's some sort of paradise, long rest or peace after this place. But ultimately, choices here are yours. You're the one making the decision if you want to enjoy a lot more of that nice meal you got there. You're the one making the choice if you want to have that nice brandy in that fancy cup you're drinking out of. Here, who cares who you were? Who cares about remembering who you were? The only thing you have is choices. Just something to think about. I come on a little strong sometimes, but just something for you to keep in mind. It's a bit of advice I want to give for free for you. Remember, choices here are yours. They're not anybody else's.
Thank you.
Of course. And maybe just one last thought to keep in mind. And there's a moment for you, Ophir, where you notice, like, he takes like a long breath in of finishing off the cigar, and you swear it might just be a trick of the light. I say this for your benefit, Mirage, that Ophir doesn't know this for sure. It looks like half of his face just becomes skeletal, like something that has long stopped being alive many, many years ago. Like, do you really want to remember who you were? Or do you want to live here?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've taken you away from your friends. It's at this point, if anyone wanted to intervene at this moment, because you can see Ophir's had a decent bit of conversation with a man who you folks don't know.
But I asked a question for Mirage. What's Ophir's body language? Is Ophir's body language different than the usual shrimping?
There is definitely something different about it, but God, how to put this? It's not like I need to be rescued. It's like a puppy who is called over by its master, who is maybe a little nervous because it maybe dealt with, being kicked at some point, but still is loyal, at least to the concept. So that's the best analogy that I can put it at.
Because if that's the sort of vibe we're reading, but I'm going to also balance it out with Renzi's Ophir's like, Ophir's chatting with someone. Ooh. Ren will grab the suit jacket that Ophir had left for them, take it over their arm and bring over their own tray of breakfast. It's kind of like saunter over and just like lay the folded suit jacket over one of Ophir's shoulders. And it's like, you can keep it. I mean, should there be another situation, you'll have something, to put under your head or keep you warm. And I dare say, I think you might look pretty good in it. Oh, you had a guest. I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, lovely. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, just fine, as one can be in a place like this.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So,
and Ren will sit down, put their tray, shuffle their drink and their plate just so, assembly utensils just so, and it's kind of a little noisy and off-putting. It's like very like,
I take it you're Ophir's friend and or caretaker in this instance.
Oh? Ophir, are we friends? Because that would mean a lot to me. I don't want to impose labels. Is that okay? Do you consider that accurate?
Sure. Yeah.
That's very... Thank you, Ophir. That's very nice. Then I'm glad to be your friend.
Looks like your life here is already better than whatever you're trying to remember there, friend.
I have a sneaking suspicion that it was better. It could be better. Nothing is, who knows? The sky's the limit.
Certainly is.
And if I stop, it's only going to go downhill. No one stays in a single place. If you stop, you're either going downhill or you're stopping yourself from moving upwards.
That's a very sweet sentiment. It's a very good way to live your life. It's a very good life philosophy. I'm certain it's what got you to this place rather than moving on.
It's part of the story. It's part of a good drama.
And I suppose all of those people who were having to deal with that drama are very happy to know that you're here instead of beyond.
I don't recall this place kind of really being explained as existing before. I think if purgatory used to be this thing one could be held indefinitely, and we've learned that's not the case. And no one mentioned the fancy catering in limbo either.
You have a lot of energy and a lot of spunk, don't you?
Your words. Thank you.
Well, I must attend to other matters, but it's good, Ophir. I hope you will take my thoughts into consideration. And remember, you're always the one who has a choice you can make here. Think about which one you want to go with for the rest of your time, whether you stay here or you want to try and move on.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Moses. I appreciate it.
Pleasure to meet you. Feel free to join my table anytime you'd like. Your friend is welcome to and your other looks over at everyone who you can see, like, the damn it, our private chat is currently having moments that keep making me hard to stay in character. But I would say, Ophir, it's in like the split second that, like, if you're not looking right at Moses and Moses is looking over at everyone else, there is a look where you all see that sort of skeletal, desiccated, like long dead version of him. And it's hard to tell whether it's a look of like malice or it's a look of very pleased with himself. It might be a little bit of both. Enjoy your little adventures. Like snuffs out the cigar and gets up from the table. As you were. Gets up and leave. I would like to ask a very important question to Mirage the player. Given what Ophir has been through, how compelling or how convincing do Moses's words feel to Ophir, given the state that they are in, of what they've just remembered, and what Robert has said?
Pretty convincing.
I would like you to lose a point of will.
Got it, boss.
Because I think this place is you. And I want to ask you, Mirage, how do you think, because will is supposed to be, will is very much meant to represent like your desire to carry on, your desire to continue like your journey. What does it look like for Ophir to lose a bit of that desire for him to carry on?
I think he probably just, his gaze lingers on Mr. Moses as he leaves for a little longer, and there's that look of like, I should listen to him. He's telling me I have a choice. and I should do what he says. And it's very clear just from the way that Ophir is looking at this man that he's falling back into he's falling into habits, bad learned habits, that are very self-destructive. Just from the look on his face as he's watching this man. And he probably gets a little more comfortable in his seat.
There you go. I think I will add one detail if you're okay with this, Mirage. I think being around Ophir with Ren, I think since you are the closest, Ophir feels colder. Like there's almost like this slight, it's almost like if someone had opened the window and a slight breeze came in, but now that's constant around Ophir. And Ophir, whatever music you heard on your ride, on the taxi ride to the hotel, it just begins playing a little bit more in the background for you. There's supposed to be more often than not like an old ham radio it has a bunch of like Latin pop songs from like the 80s and 90s that are currently like on a loop right now. I think Juanes is currently like just playing in the background. But for you, it's almost like that radio suddenly gets turned over to whatever song you were listening to in the taxi. And it's much clearer. Like the static that everyone else is hearing for the song, some of it is gone for you.
It's not just, one of the good, casual, classic songs that played in the hotel he stayed at, that he painted to so often.
Also,
like home.
Did your will drop to 0 by any chance, or do you still have will left?
Shockingly, I do still have will left. He did start low, but he does still have a little bit left.
Okay. Because remember, once will drops to 0, you gain a point of stagnation. That's when it really sets in that you don't want to move on.
Mm-hmm.
That you're stuck here. But, yeah. Ophir comes back. Ren, you notice this very cold presence, and probably anyone who sits or is near Ophir for a period of time notices that there is Ophir feels a lot colder to be near. And maybe after a little while it goes away, but it was a palpable difference.
Estás frío? You're cold? Maybe the jacket does suit you now. Oh, and, since we are friends, Ophir, I don't know what your persuasion is, but the last people I chit-chatted here, well, we ended up dancing all night. I don't know what kind of chemistry you have with this other person here, but I don't think they're a good dancer for you.
I don't really dance.
Would you like to? Is it something you wish you've wanted to do, but no one ever taught you how to dance?
You know what? Yeah.
Then you let me know what kind of music you fancy and we can take a few steps. But that one does not seem like a good dancer. Seems like they'd rather laugh and enjoy people tripping over their feet and ruining the joy that some good music can bring.
I don't know. He was kind of handsome.
Okay, I'm learning about my friend. You. But yeah, I insist you keep the jacket. It was very kind of you to bring it back. But the hotel also provides, and there's always seems to be a fresh change of clothes. And not that it's easy to give away things since they are not mine, but You should not be this cold.
I don't feel very cold, but thank you. I just didn't want you to be upset that I kept it.
You were in need, friend. This is what friends do.
Right.
And if there was anything else that you are that you believe a friend should do for each other, maybe our ideas of friendship is very different, let me know as well.
He just stares blankly.
And if there's not much coming out, Ren will just kind of blather about the dancing they did last night. I will say canonically that Ren tried to do some actual dancing before going into the horizontal mambo. But Ren will talk about the actual dancing. Even Ren picks up that maybe Ophir is not the one to talk to discuss what happened in bed kind of person. Like that's a little uncouth. Maybe a different crowd, but I don't think Ophir would
Mirage's Ophir is not.
Who knows? Maybe not out in public.
Soren is just like sort of chit-chatting about this move or that dance style and the story behind it in between taking sips of their coffee, in between cutting the protein on their plate.
You do absolutely catch his attention though when you start to describe like that certain dances have stories to them. And he absolutely gets pulled into the conversation.
Coming back to the table, how has everyone else been? How have folks reacted? Have you been paying attention to Ophir like throughout this? Like let me start with Quest. What is Quest's reaction? Because Ophir just did kind of like get up and walk over.
While Ophir was over there, I think Quest was chewing her pancakes like they were made of concrete and just staring directly at the table, just that real hard, pointed chewing. Honestly, I think she's less concerned with Ophir at the moment, knowing that Ren and the others are with him, and is much more concerned with where that gentleman went.
Big same.
My homie's about to beat him up.
I just want to talk. I'm not going to jump you.
Get his ass.
I just want to talk. Just pulling out. You're not even like pulling out a knife. It's like a fucking machete.
Yeah.
I'm just want to talk. Yeah, come here. Why are you running? Why are you running?
This is not optional. Come
Turn on your location. I just want to talk.
Yeah.
We're at an isolated location. We're 3 miles away from anyone even knowing where you're at.
Listen,
I want
Jean-Paul
him to meet me behind a Wendy's so that we can settle this like adults.
Listen, Jean-Paul did not say that we can't do this.
Technically, he did not. Like, violence is allowed towards other guests. He's not. He will intervene after a certain point. But I will say, above table, technically, he did not say no.
He didn't tell us.
So Quest is looking at this man like they're just about to like incinerate him with like magic that she didn't even know she had.
I'm trying so hard to actually do that. It's not working, but the effort's there.
And Antonia also seems to have a similar look of,
yeah,
just give me an excuse. Just give me a way to do it and I will. Jimena, what are you doing? Did you notice or care about any of this?
Obviously, I noticed when Ophir went over there and gave the man a once-over and dismissed the man as, like, not worth anyone's time. But I think Jimena just mainly focuses on eating and internalizing things. And they do relax when they see Ren go there. It's like, okay. Like, Ren is capable. Ren will take care of Ophir if anything happens. But yeah.
Okay. So the group is back together, and you do see Jean-Paul appear and say, would you like me to escort you back to the... Hold on, I have to do the correct physical posturing for it. Would you like me to escort you back to the gallery, or would you like to go of your own accord?
Think.
If you have the time and you'd like to walk with us, I'm
Yes.
sure we wouldn't mind the company.
I agree.
Of course. It is. I live to serve dutifully to all those who are here.
That sounds so terribly sad.
There's a joy in it. There's a comfort that many a friend, associate, colleague, lover, and such has made clear to me that there's a joy in helping others and letting them enjoy you and helping them get what they want.
It's true. It's just a terribly sad way of phrasing it.
I believe even prior to this, I was not the most optimistic of people. Hopeful, yes, but not optimistic. Carries forward. You arrive at the gallery. You see a few different of the moving images and the paintings and such have gone still, but there are many here that are still active. I will. Once I can figure out how did I somehow did not grab that correct sheet. Hold on. My plot thread sheet. This should be the right one. There we go. There we go. That's nice. That's nice. So
I think Jimena does go look at the photo at the one that we had come out of to see if there's been any changes since we escaped.
the floating islands, yes. The painting is no longer blood red, covering out the skyline and the background. It just looks as though the bottom like chunk of it, like if you can see like the details for what would have been ground before, it's just covered over a newly painted fog. But you do see that the islands that have been present, there are 4 more prominent islands with a 5th in the center, like detailing like way back in the distance. But it looks as though despite a lot of chaos that's happened and a lot of changes that are very clear to the painting, a new normal has set in for that place. It's not moving, it is still, but it's a very different image from what you first saw. Yep. I think I'm going to go get, I think it's a time probably to get some water because I'm starting to run out. So why don't I go and take care of them? We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Hello there, lovely people. I have acquired the water. The means of hydration, the means of life itself, has returned to me. So therefore, we must continue on with our adventure. Journey into existential angst? Kind of the same thing, depending on your kind of roleplay style. But as I was getting into it, as a quick reminder to my players of the potential ones that are now open, the limbos and the paintings that are active, you see the following. There is one of an intensely gothic city, that I think it's not Harrisburg, but there's spots in Germany where the sort of alleyways get extremely tight and narrow and such. A lot of the streets are designed to have that same kind of layout. There is a spot that seems as though it's a massive tree in the center of an island that is overflowing. Hello, cat. That will give cat advantage to the next person who rolls. Anyways, there's a massive tree of life that's seemingly overflowing across an island of various climate regions that all seem to be alongside one another. There is what appears to be a crystalline spiraling tower seemingly going up into the heavens, where on one side there is almost like a tranquil lagoon or marsh of various individuals just kind of lying just calmly there. And then there is, way off in the distance, you see a roiling sea of chaos. There is New York City at New Year's Eve. Straight up, it's just New York City at New Year's Eve, just because it's a fun one. There is a almost like, think Vatican-style buildings, but an entire rising, almost like city-state, perched high up upon a mountain that seemingly is under attack by various dragon-like creatures. There is what appears to be various factory workers, a lot of younger women, probably early 20s kind of age, and then also a lot of older folks who are there as well. There's seemingly a coastal town, various sea-themed folk moving along the pier, exchanging goods, things of that sort. It's a very seafaring kind of town. And then there is a world that seemingly is modern to an extent. There's skyscrapers piercing up, but every now and then you swear you catch a glimpse of somebody who, like, a hand stretches out, seemingly trying to reach out to the painting, and then their whole body just turns to dust. You may enter whichever one you would like. I wish you luck in your journey. I will be here to pull you out in the event you feel things have gone too far. The choice is yours.
Does anybody have any particular itch to go into any of these? And I really hope if you do, it's not the one where they're turning to dust.
I think after last time we needed something a little less obviously, you know. I do
Ophir
feel
did smile a little bitterly at that, just because it's a little bit like, I wouldn't mind turning into dust. He doesn't say anything, but the look on his face is clear.
I do feel a little poorly. We went last time to try and find something out about you, Captain, and we didn't seem to find anything at all.
And the floating islands were not particularly seem to be teeming with danger. For all we know, the dust one is one where they continue on as beautiful microscopic beings and everyone lives in blissful happiness.
I mean, when you're right, you're right.
I love Ren so much as a character. Ren's perspective on life is so nice.
Yeah, I think Jimena looks at you, Ren, like, there's something wrong. Like, just finally clicking. There's something wrong about you.
I think it took that long.
Yes.
Something a little wrong with all of us.
Yes, I do feel quite badly that the last time it was the two of you looking at you, Quest and Ophir, that had the break. I'm sure you weren't quite expecting it.
No, but I only feel badly because we went to find out about you.
I'm just more concerned that we all got out safely.
Well, we know how bad it can get now, no matter which one we go into.
That is true. As much as those fantastical beasts draw me, I think we should at least attempt another serene painting.
Well, you know, if we pick enough of them, one of them might turn out a little calm. Perhaps.
I mean,
I'm here to support you, so whichever one you pick.
I can't help but look at the quite obvious one and looking at the coastal city. At least if we're adrift we're adrift in water, not air. Water I can deal with.
Ophir immediately looking uncomfortable but not saying anything.
So the coastal city is what folks are leaning towards?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who takes the first step towards it? I'm curious.
I think Quest tightens her backpack straps and then looks to Jimena and says, "You're at the helm, Captain."
Um, I forget the phrase, but we'll look at Ren and tell you, Ren, to like take the back, like the end. And yeah,
Bring up the rear.
Yes, thank you. Bring up the rear. And I saw that look a lot.
No, you didn't.
All of us
you
here are
didn't.
like,
And yeah, Jimena will step towards the painting.
The chat room of 6 gays, and I can only ever dodge like 1 or 2 of you at a time.
You have no poker face. You can't.
I have one when I need to, but most of the time I don't really need one. Therefore, it's irrelevant. Also, masking is so tiring. It's so hard. But so, Minna, the moment you walk through, your GM, need to go pull up that one shot details because it's a lot of stuff.
We're gonna say we were falling out of the sky again, and I was gonna be real upset.
No, I'm not gonna do that to
Every
you.
time.
Just even if it's
That'd be
unnecessary.
really
Hey, you're at New York on New Year's Eve.
It's too
By the way, you're
all too
falling from the height of the sky.
Curl up into a ball and hope for the best.
let's Tokyo Godfathers this shit.
Now everyone.
Just specific reference. The Mirage.
Now everyone single file. Remember, hands in front of your guarding your face in case we do fall down. Mind any fantastical flying beasts.
We're not 5,
Keep your
darling. You
hands
think we
above
know?
them.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, this was very important to me because I had to find my food details doc on the specific one for helping illustrate the smells of the place. Because, god damn it, if I have a brand in my world building, it's food. People don't consider smell or sound enough when they world build. It's important. But seemingly, actually, you arrive, and Jimena, you feel somewhere. You're in a position that feels very familiar, except you are a passenger on a boat instead, on the outside. And you are arriving, and you just hear someone who is at the helm basically saying, "All right, everybody, arriving at Sidmaro Bay. We're going to be here real soon. Everyone, get ready to disembark from the passage. I am not taking you back." And just slowly, just ease on in, boat's tied up. And you arrive, and what you see is, it is a curious sight. There is a seaport town. You're arriving at the pier of it, and there's, even just from this distance, there's a variety of sea folk everywhere. There's folks who seemingly are turtle humanoids that have giant shells on their backs, some of which seem as though they've been encrusted with sea anemones and like bits of coral. You see some humanoids who look kind of like they're mixed with seals, and some of them have prominent, like, it looks like a pelt of some kind, except kind of more like a skin wrapped around their belt or wrapped around their waists. You see very handsome and also very beautiful, I'm just going to straight up say, Triton-esque individuals. Think more along the lines of like Legend of Zelda, kind of like Zora, with varying levels of both practical sailing attire and also very skimpy performance outfits, because you see that there are some folks performing out on the pier and singing and dancing. And
The only kind of fish I'll eat.
carrying on. Anime glare, anime glasses glare, in your judgment. Yes, Arnica Ross in chat. I'm not saying they're Selkies, they're Selkies. They're very much Selkies, because my partner is effectively an actual Selkie, and I love them. Therefore, I will include them in any sea-based thing that I can. But yeah, you just see a lot of individuals who are getting ready. They're bustling. The town is full of energy and excitement. And most prominently, I think for at least 2 of you, there is a bit farther distance, but high up on the tallest like cliff face is a lighthouse that seemingly like would cast a beam out somewhere, and it looks as though some of it is covered in something, but it's hard to tell what if anything is covering it. Maybe it's just a weird coloration of like the stone and such has been used to make it. But yeah, you are here in a location that has been referred to as Sidmaro Bay.
Ophir is absolutely clinging to the first person that they can grab, which I rolled for it, and is Ren. Because there's a bunch of monster people around, and there also were last time, but there was a lot happening. And now he has some time to take it in, so he's just like clinging to the back of Ren and looking at all of these people in awe and a little scared, but mostly just clinging for comfort.
Ren is doing that thing of narrating everything they see.
It looks odd. Like, this is fantastic. Like, seeing these beasts and being like, it's like the legends were true kind of thing. Like, is just grinning and just looking around and then taking a deep breath of sea air and like, I've missed this. And just kind of turns to everybody else. Is like, well, looks like we can enjoy ourselves for a little bit. The sky looks clear, the water looks calm, everyone seems in a good mood.
They look friendly.
I, for one, wish to inquire about those individuals dancing there on the pier.
Yeah. And I will add an additional detail. There is a strong scent of a lot of different seafood here. Like, we're talking like every variety of different things you can imagine. There are what appear to be smoked haddock that's being hung out to dry and smoke over beechen oak. Looks as though someone has actually taken like a whole sea anemone like piece and baked sweets stuffing inside of it of some kind. So like the tendrils out are being used as the actual decoration for the final like baked good. There's smoked fish, there's edible kelp. It looks as though there's one dude who has a spot like his own like little fish restaurant that I think I can't remember the real life equivalent of the guy's name. There's a dude in Chile who specializes in ceviche, but you just see like dude has a big ass knife and is just like perfectly cutting fresh like bits of fish, and you just see him like squeezing certain amounts of lime and other bits of citrus and adding spices to it. And you see like he has someone else who looks like a trainee next to him. He's like, wait, should you be adding like a bit more of that? And he just like straight up smacks the guy's hand like, no, it only needs this. You touch this knife is going somewhere else. And he's just very focused on his craft. A dude that the intensity, it's less so much that it goes all the way to 11 and that it started at 11 and then we broke the dial to move it to 15. Like he has that level of like he's hyperfixation with even more hyperfixation. Oh my God, my mother's kitchen every Thanksgiving. God damn it. Yes. That is also me in the kitchen. If any of you fuck with my food, I will know. I will remember. And you are never being invited over again. But there's just a lot of food. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of happiness around here. Where do you go? What do you do?
I think you're right, Ren. Dancing sounds fun.
Well, I believe we have discussed moving together as a group, so
yes.
Group may we?
It'd be good to work up an appetite.
Ren even looks behind them to see Ophir like at their coat jacket, like yes.
I'm going wherever you guys go.
You arrive moving down the pier. And again, there's a lot of folks who like given you a variety of different outfits and such look at you, but it's less with a quizzical expression and more with like a new folks. Let's welcome them in. And you just see like random people. You're getting like the very cliche like fantasy genre like stall person calling out food. It's like, hey, come here, come here, come here. I got the best haddock you could possibly have over here. It's like, no, 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 no. That dude's a chump. Come over here. I got better stuff over here. It's like none of these losers. You hear a very confident and proud woman. None of these losers know how to do clam chowder. They don't know how to work with fish. I barely even think they understand what a clam is. Like there's a lot of that energy of like very playful
They wouldn't know how
camaraderie.
to find the pearl.
Yeah, oh my god. Oof. Oof. Cuts deep. That one cuts deep. Damn. But there's a lot of different folks here. I will, for no reason whatsoever, describe the outfits of said performers on the street, because I'm sure the gays in the chat will be happy about this. You do see there is a Trident individual. She's wearing a single strap yellow dress. It looks as though it was something of royalty pulled from the sea. She has a sash that looks like one of the Selkie skins, but it's made out of sea anemone tendrils, and has flowing seafoam green hair, light blue and green skin, and pointed ears and face, and a little bit of a thinner frame than the other two, who you see one of them is the happiest face looking turtle individual you could ever see. Straight up, like, has bagpipes worked into his shell, where like when he blows on one side of it, it's just making music with it come out of the other. And then there is also a much shorter, much stockier, big personality, such super attractive, like seductive aura about her, very flirtatious Selkie, wearing an almost like dancer's garb that feels like it overlaps a lot with a lot of white seal skin that she has on her body. And yeah, extremely attractive, extremely like just looks perfect. And you see just folks who are in the midst of revelry, in the midst of song. There's a little crowd that's gathered nearby. Your call, folks.
If that's where the dancing is happening, then Ren will excuse me, their way to the front and take in the scene, and not necessarily make like direct eye contact at the person as an individual, but try to take in the story that is happening. Like, what is their emotions what are their emotions conveying? What is the beat conveying? What function does their clothing have beyond just like, you know, covering whatever parts of their body they want covered? And it's taking in like the bullet points, the checklist, and a technical level of the performance in front of them. And it's just like in pure study mode.
You hear like there's a pattern, there's trying to remember if I can the real life equivalent to it, where there's an intro bit of music, then there is a verse, then there is a turn, then there is a return to the verse. This pattern seems to be consistent throughout this style of music that they're playing, but the story seems to go very back and forth between the two individuals. One, I'm going to say the Trident, extremely agender, all pronouns, very ambiguous, as flirtations, what have you. Basically, if you think they might come off to you as a dude wearing a super feminine dress, they are. If you think it's a lady who's wearing maybe just a casual like outfit, it is. If you think that they're just gender fucking around with everything and you have no idea what they are, they are. They are all of these things all at the same time. But it's seemingly like like I have been seen. Yes, I have been noticed. But yes, they are like doing an introduction, like almost like an offering of love and romance to partake in the dance with this Selkie individual. And the Selkie does the reply, and as the turn happens, there is almost like a moment of playful rejection of like, no, I don't want to be involved. But then the verse comes around again once more, and there is a union of the two as they dance together, and they sing and they dance beautifully. And there is an invitation for anyone who wants to join or wants to partake.
I would like to imagine that like after a minute or two of watching this dance and Ren is just studying, eventually, like almost like a millisecond before one of the dancers moves, Ren is like almost preemptively making the step. Like if they're going to turn to the right, Ren is like already turned to the right. If right before they're going to turn to the right, it's going to like turn as if almost choreographing their dance to themselves, as if they've already dissected what is going on, and just like this deep appreciation of like the art in front of them.
I'm sorry, go, Jimena, go.
I think, yeah, if it seems like they're inviting the audience, Jimena just goes for it. They're not obviously as like talented as Ren to be able to get the moves immediately, but it's more of like the music and just the feel of it. So it's not perfect, but they join in and allow themselves to be taken by the sea of dance.
There's song, there's festivity, and there's a chance for both of you, if you would like, for challenge of 2 perform of some kind to you for both. I'm going to say Jimena and Ren.
Hell yeah!
If you can meet a challenge 3, I will give you more details. But a challenge 2 is the rating to pass. You may use whichever core stat and attribute you wish to use in this. And if you feel that any of your other features give you something to work with here, so whether or not a trick, your curiosa, or your approach in some way helps you, please give me your justification for that, and I will let it be added to the roll in some way, shape, or form.
I have ballet shoes as a curiosa. So
I'm going to say that makes it a little bit easier for you. So let me just pull that one up. So curiosa, so you lower it by 1. This is so simple. Like, even if you are not born with the grace of dance within your spirit, you simply need to do get a 1 success on this. So 4 and above is a success.
I got 2 successes.
You're good. Ren?
I'm going to use a charm because Ren believes that they've deduced that this dance is about it's a courting dance.
Yes,
this is where charm is going to be most exciting. And once they've finished like analyzing, like this big grin comes across their face, like their eyes go wide in the moment of like, aha, now I know how to that. So I'm going to roll charm. Also 2 successes.
Excellent. It is, I will say, for those looking on, for the rest of your party, I will say, Ophir, in order to do this, Ren does have to like separate from you. I imagine, whether it's intentionally or not, there is that separation.
Ophir is already pulling out his stuff and starting to sketch all of these dancers in motion, just fascinated by it.
Really? Ophir, roll me whatever core and attribute you feel is appropriate. I'm going to also make this challenge too. But okay, that will be what's happening with you. Quest and Antonia, how are you reacting to this? Because it is beautiful. After a certain moment, is it appropriate, Jimena and Ren, to say that the 2 of you dance with each other, or you're exclusively dancing with the other performers? Just a quick question before I turn some attention to Quest.
I think it would have started, at least with Jimena, separately, but yeah, if Ren is okay with it or it comes close and our offers, Jimena would be like, yes.
Likewise, Ren would have gone first for a native of this place before offering to any dance partner.
You'd have had that. But Quest, you see at first these fantastic performances. At 3 successes over here? Fantastic. Quest, you see at first these beautiful dancers just enamored with dance, enamored with the music that's playing around them. And then you see 2 of your fellow travelers and wanderers. Just, it's the most happiness I think any of you have seen in a long time. So I have to ask, how do Antonia and Quest react to this?
Quest has seen beautiful people before, and it's cool that they have some sealskin, but Quest immediately had to go see what was going on with Bagpipe Turtle because she thinks he rocks. So she's been standing like next to where the bagpipes are coming out of his shell this entire time, like right at the source of the music. So I think that she is watching this dance and watching her friends just enjoy themselves for the first time since we all got together, but is also as close to the source of that music and that noise as she can be. It's almost that sense of standing next to a half stack at a concert, fully knowing the consequences.
Love that. You're like, this is gonna destroy my ears, but you know what? I'm okay with this.
I need to be as close to this guy as possible. I need to know what his deal is.
This dude is cool. I'm staying near this dude. You would, in the midst of it, just almost as if still on beat, does mention his name is Tavish.
Quest, full delight that Bagpipe Turtle has a name and has given it to her. Says, it's awfully nice to meet you, Tavish. And we'll kind of like look at the dance. Do I get the sense that they are going to continue dancing after this?
Yes.
Then I think I smile my most convincing smile and say, what are the odds that the next one is something with a little octane to it? And I'm looking directly at Ren.
You know what? If you, God damn it, I appreciate you so much. Here's the thing: if you can, I'll give you this quest. Normally, Tavish does not take requests. He's like, I want to be. I don't want my two performance mates to be mad at me. However, I will give you a challenge 3 if you can use anything that involves soul and one of the attributes from it that you feel is appropriate, and you can meet the 3 successes. Then I'm gonna say, I will let you describe it, but I'm going to throw out the idea just as an offer. It's not what will happen, but as an offer, we get to like ska tempos of speed and beat to it.
I am hoping for, just sort of based off of what I know of Ren and the way that she moves, I'm hoping for something with like the way that Ren moves, I'm hoping for something that has like a lot of percussion and just kind of that sense of something like amping up. And I'm gonna go Soul Charm.
Let's do this. What you got, boss?
5 successes.
Oh, jeez. I know this is one of your highest stats. That's why I'm like, oh, man. Oh, boy. So that will be the lead up to all that. Antonio, what are you doing in the midst of this? I'm going to move over to Ophir and then back to everyone else. But Antonio, what is your attention on right now? Because you see this, but as a reminder, you do see the lighthouse.
Yeah, it is very loud. She's not used to that, so she's gonna try and drift toward the edge of like whatever's going on here as much as possible without losing line of sight of everybody. It's great, the energy's great, but it's very loud and there's a lot of people and she's gonna drift toward, I don't know if there's like any like a retaining wall somewhere or
it's I think I have the perfect thing for you. I will get to that in a sec. I'll just let the rest of the scene, but I'll move that over. Okay, Ophir, whatever details you want in your art, whatever you try and capture, it's perfect. It is a perfect illustration of everything going on here that you feel as the player Mirage Ophir would want to capture in this moment.
Definitely it was understand, so it's not necessarily the details, but it's like quick sketches of the body movements, the like just 5-second drawings of like a pose that they were in, seeing just, it's probably like 5 pages of sketches is what it is.
There is a moment that the notebook that you're using, the sketchbook you're using to draw anything, the images come alive and they move across the pages, but it's never frightening. There's never a sense that you feel loss of control here. It's just like, it's almost as if in this space, the sketchbook has responded to your desire to like capture this moment so quickly and is replying with jubilation towards you.
He has a little smile.
Now, the song ends. It's a good, fantastic note that it ends on. And then I'm gonna describe this as the most cartoony way that I can. You know how sometimes there's like moments where like the band's been playing a thing, and then you see the guy just like do like a hand signal, and you just see like a huge ass drum kit and a bunch of other things just start coming in. Yeah, Tavish just goes like like blows a whistle that at first quest you don't hear any sound come out of it, but you definitely see what looks to be. I'm just gonna go full. Let's go full ridiculous of marine life. Orca whalish like humanoids just appear, and a bunch of them have a bunch more bagpipes and other wind instruments. And he's like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he just goes launches into it, and it's a much faster pace. It is significantly faster. It's still danceable, but it's very much like, we're gonna pick this up a lot.
I'm curious, what did Ren and I get for our rolls?
You both got successes on it. I don't think either of you got the 3 you needed to get more info. Right now, it was just like, it's perfect. Like, you've drawn an even bigger crowd here than was before. And there's a moment, I think, of just all of where you came from before just melts away. You just remember the sea in all of its joy, in all of its freedom, in all of its liberation for you, Jimena. You feel that to the very core of your body. And Ren, this is dance. This is art. This is creativity. You feel a warmth that could not, in any way, shape, or form, have been. It couldn't be anything less than something you did in your past life. You have like a certainty of this, that this is a part of who you were.
I think for Ren, dance is akin to something of surrender. It's when there's this higher power, the brass band, the sound of feet stomping, the sound of people singing, clapping, and cheering along, that lifts one's body like it's a puppet, like it's being marionetted, and your body and the physical limitations of moving your arms and your legs mean nothing anymore. You could do this for hours, you could do this for days and nights, and it's nothing but just surrendering to that energy and your body manifesting whatever collective rhythm or expression of sound we decide it to be, and which is constructed with a collective idea of what our story should be. And there's just this beautiful surrender to what that entails, where you're no longer one individual, you're part of this collective heartbeat.
Now, before I get to Antonia's, I would like to ask Aida, the player, this. Yeah. Is there something within this moment that feels akin to a fragment for you? Something that sparks back a memory? Or is this something that you want to wait on? I'm asking. You do not have to take it. I'm just saying, this is a moment of what Ren has talked a lot about, what Ren's backstory really represents for them. This is what they do.
Yeah. I mean, this is... Ren has done some dancing, has talked about the dance, but this is the first time Ren has gotten into like a technical dance with people who are also, by all measures, experienced performers. So Ren is absolutely in their element, and I would say that yes, this feeling, Ren has talked the talk a lot about the dance, but now Ren is doing it, and there's this like, it wasn't just a hobby, it wasn't just this trivia I picked up or I've seen. No. This is exactly what my body was meant to do. It was meant to surrender. It was meant to forget that anything else exists. I could do this for hours till my feet bleed.
Till your feet bleed. Okay.
My curious are boots that fit perfectly and never wear down.
Mm-hmm. Are you okay with the fragment memory happening right now? Or do you want to wait? I'm asking.
Let's do it.
The music has reached an apex. It's going faster, but and maybe there's even a moment, Jimena, like you're like, thank God you have the shoes and you got the success, because it's like you're struggling just a little bit to keep up. It feels like the shoes are helping keep you grounded and keep going with it. Ren is not struggling. Ren is lost in this. It is a perfect demonstration of an expert, a master, someone who's been doing this all of their life. And Ren, the music keeps playing in your ear. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. And then you feel like your body fades away. And you hear two noises. One, you hear like someone, like one of those old-fashioned like TVs, like someone has just turned off a TV. And then you hear beep, 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 like machines beeping at a hospital. You're in a hospital bed.
Am I conscious?
Yes, you are conscious.
Try to sit up, move my arms, move my legs.
Your arms feel fine. Your legs are not moving.
They must have just gotten tired.
You look down. You see casts on both of your legs. They're both broken.
That is unfortunate. I will have to ride the vehicles with the pageanted individuals who just simply sit at the back and wave while the actual performers are doing their art, but I will accompany them, it seems, for a few rounds at least.
You see that there's a nurse who is here. Very friendly looking. She sort of has like a bob haircut, kind of red, like more strawberry blonde kind of like hair. Very sweet face. Couldn't be more than like 30, 35, somewhere in that range. Just sort of like, hey, hon, you're awake.
Awake? I was brought here. I don't remember coming here.
Yeah. You took some pretty nasty falls in the middle of that performance. There's a lot of people who are really excited for you to be there with you. Your whole group has been trying to bully their way into this place for a while. The whole troop, yeah, they're a little chaotic, if I'm being quite honest. It's been visiting hours are only a certain time, and they're not your loved ones technically, so we're not allowed to let them in.
Am I liable for damages they cause?
No. Promise.
Can I have that
honey,
in
you're
writing?
good. Yes, I will go talk to your I'll go talk to your doctor. I promise.
Oh, all right. What's the prognosis?
Well, here's the thing. It's not permanent, and you'll definitely be able to recover, but you're going to be out and still need some phys therapy too and everything for at minimum 3 months, maybe 6 months.
So 8 weeks. By which we mean 6, really. Okay. We can squeeze in 6 weeks. We can work a little harder to cut it down to 4.
Ren, I'm just trying to take care of you, okay? I don't want you to hurt yourself again. This isn't the first time you've been in here, remember?
And it's not the last time that I will power through and continue back to what my body was meant to do.
Yeah, every time you power through and you try and like break yourself, it makes it worse. It's going to make your recovery time so much longer.
I have to continue. The world record is counting on me. I will break and I will meet the longest streak of uncontinued dedicated dances.
Look, you try and do this again to the same extent, it's going to be much worse next time. Okay? I'm not asking you to do this because I want you to stop. I'm honestly, like, I'm a big fan. I was lucky enough to actually get to see some of your performances, and listen, I'll talk to your doc. I'll see what I can do.
Yes. I've heard some injections are very good. All of them.
Maybe not all of them.
How else will we bring it down to 4 weeks? And with some good effort, 3.
I'll see what I can do. I'm so sorry. You just woke up and I didn't tell you. My name is Nady.
You said you were a fan, Nady. Thank you for your support. Thank you for what you are doing, and because you were a fan, you know how important this is. That we're going to get this down to 2.5 weeks.
We'll see what we can do, hon. And it seems as though in the midst of what you overhear as like the last note of this memory, Nady talks to someone outside and like almost seems to start an argument with what you presume is your doctor. And it's like, why do you keep telling them that? It's like, I don't want to bring it up to them right away. It's like, we don't even know if they're going to be able to dance anymore. It's not confirmed yet. Let's hope for a bit. And you just kind of look down and you see that in the midst of what is definitely maybe even a career-ending like trip to the hospital, someone wanted to be your friend. And the rest of you watch in the middle of this as Ren, at like the apex of dance, just passes out. Moving over to Antonia. And this will be the last thing before we go to break, because I know we're at about halfway point. We'll be doing a break for about like 10-15 minutes. Antonia, you're overwhelmed by the noise, by just all of this happening, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You see that there's an individual who beckons you over, has like a little stall. And the individual, you notice that as you get in front of the stall, the sound deadens a bit. Like just there's this little orb of like deadened sound around it. And it feels almost like a low sensory stimulation zone. And you see an individual, deep brown skin, warm undertones, wide nose, deep brown eyes, long braided hair that looks like it has bits of soil and flowers woven through it, and is wearing a long black cloak, open V pattern where lines of the cloth look as though they're made of amber and soft stone connecting each half of it. Small bracelets of amber jewels all around their clothes. You just hear a voice say, "Are you in need of some comfort, dear, away from everything?"
Yes. It's very loud and seems to be gonna go on for a while.
It can be quite a lot, my dear. Why don't you sit for a moment and take in a bit more of silence? I can reduce the volume a bit more if you'd like.
No, it's okay. I want to hear if somebody's calling for me. I'm here with some friends.
Oh, bless your heart. You're here with company. It's a good thing. I've mostly been traveling on my own, so I haven't had good company in a while.
Oh. What is it? It's a stall, and is there like something set out?
It looks as though there's just like a seat in front of it. Hell, it might even just be like a box crate or something just to sit down, but is like put like little bits of like a blanket or like a pillow on top of it. Just make it. It's a chair, but not really a chair. It's like someone who does not have a lot and just set up something ad hoc in the moment just to kind of do that.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go, my dear. Your friend is causing a bit of hubbub.
Oh, they always are.
Are you not one for being in the mess of things?
Not lately. I have a feeling I used to, but I don't know what happened.
Well, if you need a moment to collect yourself, to be comfortable, I'll be happy to provide it. My name is Talia. I am Talia Kaimana Johannes at your service.
At my service. I feel like many people are these days, and I don't know how I feel about that.
You not like people taking care of you?
No, it's not that. I feel like people have better things to do than wait around on whatever it is I want them to do. I'm not really sure what I'd want other people to do.
Well, if people are taking the time to be there for you, I think it's best to just try and enjoy it. I found most people, for some people rather, a aspect of how they show love and affection is simply an act of care and quality time.
I suppose. I feel like I have a hard time with that, I guess. I don't know. Everything's a little foggy these days.
Oh dear. Should you ever wish to perhaps find out a bit more, I'm sure a dear friend of mine at the lighthouse may be of some use to you. Look, ask for Callahan.
Callahan. I think I will. Have to round up the rest of the crew, I imagine. Thank you.
Of course. Why don't I give you a little something to remember me by? You might need it on a difficult evening. And offers you a candle, a seemingly handmade candle that looks as though it has bits of script written along the sides of it. Oh, and dear, do not be afraid of what comes next.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think I've been afraid of very many things that come next. For a while, it means there is a next.
If my sibling has anything to say about it, you will be. And as you turn back to look, Talia's gone. The stall is gone. Like you're sitting up and all you have left is the candle. And it's right at that moment that you turn over and you just see the whole crowd reacts as Ren has passed out. And that is where we are going to take our break, folks, as we're going to be back in about 10, 15 minutes. As we are going to our break, remember, everybody, take your meds, get some water. If you haven't already, help us out by subscribing to our Twitch channel and the YouTube channel. Give us the ability to do more fun stuff and to support the amazing performers we obviously have. I mean, look at these people. They're all great. They're all amazing. They're all hot. And they're all just wonderful.
GMs.
Yeah, and the GMs too. Of course, the GMs. I have to speak praise to all the other GMs
And you.
and myself before I saw three of you ready to be like, So we'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes, folks, as we continue on with this very beautiful, very cozy seaside town where nothing terrible has happened and everything is not ominous at all. See y'all in about 10 to 15. Hello there again, everybody. Welcome back to Afterlife Hotel Nexus and Afterlife Wandering Souls actual play here on Girls Run These Worlds. We are in the middle of session 4, our mid-season finale, everybody, of this series. I know we're like halfway through, but we still got a bunch of episodes to get through. And in the second half of this, you're all joining us for those of you who've just come in or might need a refresher because break can, got to rest, you got to take meds, you got to deal with some brain fog, some existential angst, and then carry on with life. And we are jumping back into this fantastic moment of jubilation in which dance has been performed so wonderfully and beautifully by Jimena and Ren to just at the apex of the music being sped up significantly by Quest's helpful input with Tavish. I will describe it as such. Meanwhile, DK is like, sure, that's a word for it.
That was the intent.
It was the intent, and it did work technically. You brought this moment of sheer just jubilation to everyone, and in that peak moment, Ren had a fragment occur for them, a memory of them being in the hospital, potentially at the end of their career, of a career-ending injury. Ophir has documented these moments. Jimena has joined Ren in the dance, and Antonia has met a curious individual who's gifted her with a candle and warned her to not be afraid of what comes next, and disappeared. And we jump back into Ren has passed out, and the crowd is just sort of like, "Are they okay? Are they okay? What's going on? Are they fine? Hello, excuse me, Mix, are you okay? Hello?" Ren's just.
Mm-hmm.
Quest is gonna push through the crowd to get to Jimena and Ren.
Yeah, immediately Jimena went because I think it was one of those things again, like Jimena was doing a twirl or something, and was just glancing at everybody else, and then as soon as I twirled back, it was like, wait, where did she go? I know she's short, but
they're short, yeah,
they're short, but I was like, and yeah, kind of does a dramatic musical style slide onto knees to get to them, yes. Oh shit,
Ophir is very intensely drawing the moment of Ren falling, because artist to artist, that stuck with Ophir. So yeah, they're concerned, but everybody else has it, and that was beautiful and tragic, and they have to get it down.
This is sad, and I'm worried, but also I could clip this shit. Speaking of which, if you wonderful viewers, if you have any moments you would like to clip for us, we would appreciate it greatly. No shame. Anyways, carrying on. Yeah, the crowd is getting I think I'm going to say with Jimena, you doing it, the crowd is sort of 50-50 of is this the performance? Is this a thing? They're kind of back and forth, and Tavish is still going with the group and keeping the music going a little bit, has slowed it down, just sort of be leaning over to Quest. Is your friend okay? And then sees Quest has already started moving. Okay. Maybe not so good. But I'd say Jimena and Quest, you're both getting there at the same time. And Antonia, you're becoming aware.
Yeah.
Because you're a bit away and seeing, and you're processing this from the dead end sound zone. The crowd is upset about something.
Yeah, I'll make my way over. I'm not gonna run, so not to do any panic, but walking quickly, briskly.
Excellent. Yeah, I think first thing, double check that Ren is breathing and everything, and then seeing Quest is I think they did a you.
Yeah, it looked like a me. I don't know that these people have any idea what that means in context. I think maybe we can play it off as they caught the vapors.
I know that reference. Say, and I forget. Does Quest look like they're buff-ish?
A little. Quest is a little swole.
Yeah. Okay. As we established, Jimena is many things. Strong isn't necessarily physically. Isn't one of them. Can you lift her? lift them?
I think I can. Yeah.
And then they'll like stand up and clear their voice, like, everyone, it's okay. Our friend just got caught up into it and just needs to rest and a drink. And thank you all for such a wonderful dance and keep on. And like turning towards the turtle because they were also very interested in the turtle, but dance, it's like, andale. And yeah.
You see Tavish look over at you, Jimena, and just sort of like, yeah, hell, let's go with this. Like, sort of looks you up and down and sort of like, it's definitely one of those like, talk. I was about to do the something. No, it's like, talk to me later, like gestures.
Yeah, they give the nod, the universal nod.
Yeah, just like a little heart sign, and then just like lets you go. But where are y'all going?
To begin with, Quest is going to try and scoop Ren up in a fireman's carry.
That's so romantic, and I'm sorry. I became discombobulated by gay. Carry on.
Happens to the best of us.
Frequently, I might add.
Would that be body overcome?
I would say body overcome would be the best one.
And yeah, in theory, we're going towards Antonia. Like as soon as I spot like where Antonia is,
yeah,
be like, okay.
Yeah, Ophir, you are hopefully at this point becoming snapped out of the artist days and noticing, yeah, your group is like, oh. It's like, I was not doing anything else in the moment. So, Quest, what have you got? There you go. That is enough. That is enough for Ren. Ren is not the like biggest of people either, so it's not too rough to carry them. But
I figure I can lift me up a mountain, so I can probably pick them up.
The logic is sound. There's nothing wrong with that line of thinking whatsoever. Carrying on. Antonia, you see the group. You see Ren has passed out, much like Ophir and Quest did previously.
I feel like this will get inconvenience eventually.
Get? Sounded like last time was pretty rough for everybody else.
Man.
We had to put you all on a flying mechanical being and then outrun big fantastical beasts and not crash into another of the mechanical beings before we all started going.
I would have rather be there, but sorry to be an inconvenience.
Bonus, we're on the ground.
Yes, but we have to actually carry somebody now.
Sometimes you have to carry your friends.
I think like Jimena would look around to see if there's like because this is a bustling area, but like if there's a place where we could go and like sit and be a little bit not necessarily completely quiet and alone, but like out of the way.
I'll put it to you this way: you could find a spot, and you do see what appears to be. I'm just going to refer to them as the most butch Selkie you have ever seen ever. Like, has the most dapper outfit on, has a seal skin. The coloration of the dapper outfit is the bi pride flag colors, and is just like, I am aware that I'm attacking at least two of you. You're welcome. But like there, and you hear like a very bright and cheerful voice about to like start talking to you, but looks at both the passed out Ren and what I assume is Jimena being like, do not fuck with us right now. And is just like, all right, I'll head over there and I'll talk with you another time. Take care, everyone. Hope you're enjoying everything all right. And just skedaddles over. Also, I should note, for the Selkie heights, for reference, the tallest one's like 5'3". On average, they're like 5 feet and 4'10".
Oh, so they're still tall. They're still taller than I am.
Kindred.
They're Ida.
Yes, they're Ida height. We will reference all Selkies as in Ida height increments.
So like 0.9, a 1.2.
Yes. I love that. This is our increment. This is the canon increment here now. but you do have some space, and Ren seems very peaceful. Nothing seems to be wrong with them.
Now, when you two passed out, did you two pass out at the same time? Do we need someone else to pass out so that Ren is not alone?
I mean, I don't. Here's the thing. It's interesting that you say that. We did pass out at the same time. I don't think you have to, but you do raise a good point. It's not a scary place you go to. It's just a lonely one.
I don't know. It did get a little scary once that banging started happening.
I think that was something outside though. Something.
It was still.
There's. I don't want to volunteer anybody to do that, but there is something to the idea of not being alone wherever not here is.
I think
Quest there definitely helped me get out. Otherwise, I don't know that I would have.
We helped each other.
that's good. Buddy system is good, though I feel like Ren could be okay alone. I prefer, of course, none of us to be alone in any odd situations here. And I think they would look around and like again, it's a weird they think I should have been the first one to break. Like to lead the and but it's that whole thing of like you're trying like it's not necessarily that they kind of want to break now so that Ren wouldn't be alone, but at the same time it's like what is there? There's just too much. I can't mind blank. What the hell?
I think Quest sees kind of that inclination on Jimena's face and goes, wait, before anybody starts looking real hard at anything, we should maybe get indoors. That way, if anybody does see something that makes an alarm go off, they're already sitting down when they pass out.
Someone did recommend to me that we go to the lighthouse. I have the name of someone there now.
Well, that's good as anything. Are you going to be okay carrying them up all the way over there?
Yeah, I got them.
Do you want me to carry your pack? And they look like they're doing it as an offer, but they're like looking at that pack and being
like, I'm trying to be nice, but I don't actually want to be nice. It's not sincere. I'm hoping you'll still say no to it.
It looks like it weighs about as much as an 8-year-old. So Quest kind of just adjusts Ren and, does that sort of last check of like, nah, I'm okay. Thank you, though.
You begin making your way up. There's an occasional look from passerbys like, okay. I think to like probably Jimena and Ophir as you're passing by, because Quest is kind of focusing on that, and Antonia, you feel like strangely pulled to the lighthouse. Jimena, you and Ophir definitely see a couple folks who are like making this gesture of like they point back and forth between you and Ren and just sort of make a gesture of like drink. They're like you get the double thumbs up from like a lot of folks who are like, yeah. Is Ren still dancing in their sleep?
Can weaken that Bernie's Ren's body.
Okay. As you arrive, no, sorry, go.
Quick question. Does the candle smell like anything?
It smells like freshly like tilled earth.
Huh.
And bits of like limestone and such.
Do I recognize the script, or is it just I don't know what this is?
No, it looks comforting. Like it feels very comforting, like having it in your hands. You imagine if you lit it, something else might happen as well, but you make your way up to the lighthouse and you see I'm just going to be direct about the influence of how to imagine this. It's a mixture between like modern technology and if someone did like arcano tech to make a lighthouse in terms of the composition of it. Like there's brick patterns and everything, but then the actual portion where the light would be streaming out to sea, it looks as though it's some kind of like magical components and bits of glass and such that have been formed together to hold in place. I will say that there is a distinct thing that folks may have seen from a distance before, but was not confirmed as much until you got close to it, that there does appear to be sort of creeping along some parts of it, bits of seaweed that's seeming to grow and extend around the whole of the lighthouse itself. And you see that there is a small home, a small little like home right next to it. And it looks as though like some of the other longer end pieces of it kind of connect to the lighthouse itself, but for the most part, it's separate from everything else.
You were the one who got the invitation. Which way do you think we should go?
It's true. Is there a door, or is there like an obvious entrance?
I mean, there's a door on the home and there's a door to the lighthouse itself. You're welcome to try either one.
Hmm. Now we're gonna go right for the lighthouse door. As we're doing.
Okay. As you are walking up, as your steps are moving closer to the lighthouse, I will say for Jimena, you hear in your head, only you do, you hear something utter the following. It goes, release. Right. Unleash. Like just a voice that seemingly echoes from the depths of the ocean itself.
I think Jimena pauses and just kind of looks around, but looks off like the closest cliffside towards the ocean. And just stares and readies their crossbow.
Readies for a sec. You don't hear anything. Antonia, if you go to the door and if you open it, like it opens without any issue. And you hear and turn a voice. Return. Long here. Why did you leave?
Hmm. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna yell into the empty. Wait, do I see anything in the interior after I open the door, or do I just? Is it dark?
So it's dark, but you do see the makings of like a winding staircase, like going up into it. It appears to be, to trot this old one out, much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
I will yell into the inside. Callahan, Talia had sent me. Hello?
You hear like the door to the home nearby open. What is it? What's happening over there? What's going on? What? And you see curious individual. A dragonoid of some kind, who has a long red and green cloak with a hood to keep out rain and water, a variety of pockets on what appears to be a tool belt, little bits of gadgets and things, and has an undershirt that's sticking close to a scaled body that looks as though it has dulled blue scales. There's a pair of slightly sharp yellow horns pointing towards a square jaw-shaped chin, underlayer of faded yellow scales, and a segmented tail that's poking out of the cloak. Like, yes, is somebody calling my name? Hello there.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know which door to go to. It's not really clear.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Most typically just have some young hooligans just trying to walk in and cause me some grief here. Back in my day, folks had much more respect for folks who were a lot older. But I'm sure you're perfectly fine. You're curious. Come in. My name is Callahan. Come here. And dude is probably supposed to be like 7.5 feet, 8 feet tall. You just he's kind of hunched over, and also like every movement, you just kind of hear creaky kind of bones.
Mood.
Yeah. I knew at least one person was going to say that. It's just like, why do my bones hurt? It's like, yes.
I think this time Jimena takes the rear to let everybody else go into the house as they look around. Um, damn it, Helen, hold on. Like they're not like with their arm out, but they're with the crossbow, but it is like a little hovering a little above them a little bit as they look around just to make sure there's no one else around before they follow in.
Oh, you have some sort of strange crossbow-like device. Promise, I'm not going to hurt you. I wouldn't even have the means to hurt you. If you wanted to rob me, there's not really anything of significance you could if you tried to rob me. Noting that up front.
All right, old habits. We just need a place for our friend to rest for a moment, and um, if you don't mind.
By all means. Oh, one looks as though they've tuckered themselves out. They, little strong on the drink or something?
No, the magic of dance.
I remember the dance. Remember it just like it was yesterday. Danced lovingly. Had a good boyfriend. Had a wife, too. It's quite nice. Not here anymore. They left me. But you know, such things happen. Anyways, come on in. Come on in.
It's quite a shame they're out. I think you two would talk a mild minute.
Oh, don't worry about me. If I have any sort of spunk or energy, it's by nature of the fact that I refuse to be a bad host to my guests. And you over there, like, is calling out to Ophir, who I imagine seeing a dragon humanoid of some kind is a little unsettling. I have that right.
Absolutely. They're hiding behind the nearest person, but also have their sketchbook out and are like,
You there, the one doing the drawing and the creative bit of stuff. I promise I don't bite. You're not someone I'm interested in, and also, frankly, my teeth aren't quite what they used to be anyway. So you're welcome to come in. I won't hurt. Uh, hold on. Excuse me one moment. Burps and like you see lets out a bit of lightning sparks from their mouth, and he's just sort of like, apologies, bit of indigestion. Occasionally happens every now and then. But yes, come in. Come. Just walks in. Again, the entire time, every step is just reeking of bones and sounds, and just like sits down in a chair, and it's a cozy little home. It's like a nice little like stovetop set aside in the corner. There's a nice little circular table that could host a few different people. There's a little couch over nearby. Chair to sit in, whichever one you would like to put Ren in.
I will put Ren in the chair to keep with the theme of Weekend at Bernie's.
It looks as though they've had quite a bit of a time, haven't they?
You would not believe. Thank you for your hospitality, by the way.
No worries. So, what brings you over here? I thought I heard the name of Talia of some kind mentioned.
Yes, I saw Talia out by the pier, and they told me to come. They gave me this candle and told me to come see the lighthouse.
Oh, why, yes. I haven't seen that in one of these in quite a minute. Like, goes over to a desk. It's like it takes him a minute to realize he doesn't have his reading glasses on, but he's still doing the gesture, and then walks over to his desk and he puts on the tiniest little pair of spectacles that like he has to push up all the way to the bridge of his nose. It's just like, oh, well, yes. Oh, I haven't seen one of these for reverence and practices in quite a long time.
Is it a special candle?
Well, yes, it's usually done for acts of worship and prayer and such for the Earth Titan that used to live here.
Hmm. Bit of a strange place for an Earth Titan, no?
Oh,
Not on a
well,
shore.
well, I reckon, given your looks over at all of your appearances and attire, that you're not from around these parts. Well, there's a legend that said that a lot of this place that you're at, Sidmaro Bay, was born from the united efforts of a god of the sea and a god of the earth. Now, God's one of those fancy kind of words that translations get thrown around. Folks change it to deity, change it to divine one, and sometimes folks even occasionally say Titan. I prefer Titan because it seems accurate, and it's much more impressive than to say God. God feels like it doesn't quite have the right kind of mouth feel to it, you know? It's only got the one syllable kind of guttural tone to it. Titan, it feels like it's got heft to it. It's got two syllables. It's got two legs to stand on. It's got two means of just saying appear.
Ophir is nodding along, sitting next to Ren and filling in all the details of Ren's face on that picture of them fainting.
Yes, oh brother, it's so good. It's so good to be able to see some folks who are quite kind and interested in bringing along some stuff, and Vitalia to even be kind enough to invite a guest over. I haven't really had too many guests in a long time.
What knickknacks do they have in this area? Like,
There is a shrine tucked away in the corner that looks as though there's, think very much like a Day of the Dead kind of shrine, like an altar. But this one, it's seemingly one half of it is decorated with a variety of different flowers, bits of earth, like different like earth samples and like almost like trilobite kind of like fossils on the bottom half. But the top half, it has a nautilus shell prominent on the top of it. And there's bits of seashells and seaweed that have been like done in almost like wreaths around the top of it. And
that definitely draws me to it to look and ponder.
yeah. Jimena, as you look at the altar, once again, you hear a voice in your head that says, "Hey, you fail. What did you lose to pride?"
I didn't lose anything. I did lose something. And I think they stare at like the nautilus shell and everything, and yeah, I'm gonna call the break. They think of they are concentrating on what they lost, and they like, I think they like hear like the sound of an ocean underneath a cave, like that special echoey kind of noise of the waves crashing inside a cave. As they just focus before collapsing, not onto a chair.
Yeah, you hear, and I'm gonna add a little bit of detail to that as well. You Jimena are pulled away back to being on a ship. You hear various people on your crew whose faces you recognize. People saying, "Why did you take it? Like, we can't hold it on the ship. It's going to bring it on us. It's going to bring something down to us. I know we need to protect this thing and like keep it safe from everyone else. But why did you do this?" Like, there's a bunch of crewmen. Like, your first mate is like, "Captain, I'm gonna say it's a very hot, high femme lesbian. Fill in details however you would like, you pack of gays, but like big stompy boots, like hat, outfit that's very practical and is like, but it's drenched. It's the middle of a rainstorm, and they're like running up to you. It's like, what did you do? Like someone is asking you, what did you do?
I did what had to be done. We couldn't leave it there. There's no way it would. If we found it, the others would have found it too.
Do you know how dangerous it is to even try and move something like that?
Yes, we've done dangerous things. We've gone through it.
Not
this
something that fights back.
Well, we can fight. We can
Sure.
do it. I believe in us.
Captain, like you're like these are a couple of different crew members who've all been chiming in stuff, and then you just see like your first mate who like very like tenderly puts a hand on your shoulder amidst this rainstorm and stuff. You feel it's the touch of someone. It's think like a partner's touch where they're like, honey.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I will speak with everyone, but like pulls you aside once. Jimena, I don't think this was a good idea. What if we lose it?
We can't lose it. We'll make sure we don't lose it.
What?
I found you, mi tesoro, and I haven't lost you.
It's okay, fine. That's fair, and like has a very like a face that is bright red and obviously like enamored with you. Okay, I just hope. Promise me we'll be okay. Please.
I take their hands gently and then bring it up to kiss. I promise you.
Okay.
It's not like we're holding it on forever. I'm not that stupid to believe we can take care of it the rest of our lives.
I love you so much. And I hope that we get to have many years together after. And then you watch as 4 colossal hands and with arms attached to them emerge out of the water. A massive, like, nautilus shaped face. Like where there would be like a head, it's just a nautilus shell that looks as though it has a beard of seaweed just falling over it. This thing is massive. We're talking like 50, 60, 70, 80 feet tall. And just immediately you hear that voice echoing out again and saying, You took. You made them forget about me. So will you suffer. The arms just grab each corner of the ship and rip it apart. And the last thing you see as the memory like fades away, you see your first mate like trying to reach out to you as the ship splits apart right between you.
I of course immediately try to reach.
Yeah, it's like the cinema moment of just like no. If I just try, Jimena passes out.
Oh, all right. Okay. 2 it is. Callahan, I think we might need to impose upon your kindness just a little bit longer.
If I'm going to be quite direct, I believe you will. But you're already doing it, and you're a lot nicer than some of the other small punks that have had come around here before, so by all means, enjoy yourself.
Thank you again. And
you also see, before you even go to get Jimena, Callahan, who is remarkably strong and actually extremely buff, is just like worn out to all shit. Is just like very casually picks up Jimena like in both arms, like it's nothing. Like, I assume you were going to move them.
Please and thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, interesting. We're not in any danger, so I guess should we just wait for them to wake up?
Not really sure how this works. I mean,
Azir has scooted over towards Jimena and has started turning a page and sketching.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Is anyone else having
Yeah, you went
your audio is
completely
getting
robotic.
very robotic and crackling? Yes, Ophir.
Sounded really great, like creepily.
Yeah, it was great for a very. I was like, oh God, is Ophir? I didn't look. I'm just telling everyone above table. I didn't plan for Mirage to be involved in this and to become an avatar of said thing that is talking to all of you. I am not that good at planning things out.
It's better.
Try talking. Nope, you are definitely on the robot. You have seen the robot, held the robot, become the robot. Might need to get back to you and just play around with it just a little bit, but yeah. Antonia and Quest, so are you just kind of like chilling? Just like while two of your buds are passed out?
Actually, I'd like to go up to the altar that Jimena was looking at.
Carry on.
Now that I'm sure that Jimena and Ren are at least comfortable and hopefully won't fall off of the things that they are currently on, no more, impact. I would like to use my talent, and I want to touch the altar, and I want to see the timeline of it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's a really good use of your talent. Okay, because you see the timeline of this item and all the things that are associated with it. You see that this altar has actually moved around a lot of different places, all over. Like it's been moved around this household like 1,000 different times, but every single time it's just kept mostly together and mostly for the sake of just trying to make sure like it's respected. And you see Callahan like having an argument with someone outside. You see that very dapper looking Selkie saying, well, it's not really that big of an issue. I mean, it's an old temple, but we need to consider about, moving on and thinking not just what the sea can give us, but what the earth can give us. I'm sure they won't mind if we just, repurpose the ruins to make a lighthouse. That's a compromise, isn't it? Like you see this conversation and Callahan is furious about this. It's like, why would you think in any way, shape, or form that this would be treated with anything but derision? And it's like, I don't know. I'm not a religious person. I don't care that much about these sorts of things. I care about, listen, Callahan, you need to get with the times. People are going to want more out of this place than just a sea. The sea is just, it's not a relic of the past, but it's not as relevant to all of us as we used to be. A lot of us have been born here. It's not as important. The land requires care as well. The people on the land deserve some care and joy as well. We didn't all look to the sea with happiness and freedom. Some of us are glad to be away from it. But you see Callahan having this, you see Talia appearing and just a comforting presence. A little unnerving, but saying that like I'm sorry if you tried your best, but it seems as though my sibling may be coming to visit in a short time. It's like, what do you mean by a sibling? Well, you should know by now who I am, Callahan. And there's like a look of like Callahan's not getting it. You kind of see the like pinwheel of like loading happening and then like a look of recognition and you see, yes, dear. I have appreciated your altar to me and to my sibling. Very much so. But I can only stem their rage for so long. I wish you luck, my friend. I will do what I can to help you. And the memory fades. You just have this sense of like, whatever's happened involving this lighthouse, it has not been met with approval by something far more terrifying and far more powerful than folks living here understand, really.
First, I think I make a mental note that there was something about this that Jimena recognized. Something about this altar, its history, something. And then Quest looks at Antonia for a moment just to kind of get her attention.
Actually, was there anybody paying attention to me in that like 3 minutes that it happened?
Don't
Can I
think so.
can I try and sneak out the front door while that is happening?
Yes. For my sake, I would like you to make a check for it just to see how successful you are. You are free to use whichever core and such you feel is appropriate. I personally would lean towards body stuff to try and do this, but if you think something else also works here, do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a maneuver I have. So it's 5 dice for me.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled so bad. That is only 1 4 or above.
You're very lucky in that the challenge was only one because everyone is very distracted. So you are very lucky.
It's 222 1 2 4.
Sounds like a zip code, or it sounds like a weird like variation of a Konami code. But like, uh, as you proceed away from everyone, you go up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Sorry, I could resist. Anyways, you go. So are you sneaking out to the lighthouse?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you see more and more of it is being covered over with seaweed, and it looks like it's like alive and thrashing and like spreading like a hand reaching outwards to cover more of it. But the door inside of it is still open.
Checking. I'm gonna go in before anybody looks for me.
You go in. And as you move through, you hear a voice say, "Why did you leave? This is not where you belong."
I mean, you seem very upset that I left, and then you're upset that I'm here.
Not me. You left. Why did you leave?
Well, I don't know if I have much of a choice. I don't know who you are, but also I'm very dead.
As you move up the staircase of this, there's little like sconces of light. You reach the top where the lighthouse is, or where the light like center it is, and you see that it turns on all of a sudden. And you look out to sea, and just far off in the distance, slowly rising, you see the four-armed nautilus shell head being slowly rising out of the water. But Antonia, there's something else here. The light refracts for a bit. It like becomes a little bit too glaring for your eyes. It looks almost like a chandelier from some points, like something that's being held above a party. The walls around you close in, and there is this gnawing sense that you are trapped in here.
I'm gonna say out over the. It's very rude to get me back in here when I have left already. It's not very nice. I don't like that very much.
Not me. And you feel the sense that it is not actually the individual, the being who's out at sea. It's something else. And for a moment, you look out from the peak of this lighthouse and you see what looks like hands made of vines and wood just slowly wrapping around the tower. It is isolating. It is lonely. And there is, for you, Antonia, no sense of escape from it.
She's gonna be very brave. She's gonna try and walk back down the stairs, back toward the front door, briskly, but not panicked. Really, she's gonna try not to be panicked about it, but brisk.
I would like to ask you, Gina, would you like to invoke a fragment in this
Oh,
moment?
oh yeah. Right here on the stairs. Exactly
Yeah.
what I'm aiming for. Round and around the familiar circle stairs of the lighthouse.
You flash back to a memory, a familiar place of being alone, of being away from people who cared about you. You remember there was a party here at one point. A lot of people wanted to be here with you, but you are no longer by the sea. You are in the woods. And it looks as though nearby you see, very similar to the hands of wood and vine there were before, hands emerging from out of the ground, slowly closing in on you. What do you do in this memory?
She is not gonna look directly at it. She's gonna keep walking briskly. Put her, she's getting a little panicked. Pick up her skirts a little. Brisk, brisk, brisk. Hopefully, if she doesn't start running, it won't pick up.
You keep your brisk pace and you manage for a period of time to just, you outpace it. And after a while, you just see that the hands stop chasing you.
We don't look back. We just keep going.
You see the edge of the forest line. The trees are ending. There is escape here.
She starts maybe running, jogging a little.
You run. You keep running. It feels like ages, even though the distance should be done in a moment's time. Keep running. And you see your hand reaches out and you swear your hand passes the end of the tree line. And imagining a camera looking at from where you're running, you just see a massive being of trees, of wood, of earth has been growing behind you, but you could not see the full scope of it. And as you're like reach out and you feel freedom for a moment, there is a moment you feel like you are about to get out of here. And you just hear a whisper like right in your ear. No one escapes me. feel a pair of hands just like we're talking like immediate, like it's not even like cartoony, fast, funny being pulled off the screen. It's just like if you went to the behind the scenes footage of how they did this in a movie, you straight up like have like a line attached to your back, like a cable, like you were just like, and the memory ends. And right as you see the door open in front of you, you just pass out right in front. And it's right at this time, Quest, Ophir, you notice Antonia's not there.
Quest runs up to Callahan and gets right in his little face, and goes, "What is under the lighthouse?"
It's said it's supposed to. Well, it really depends on what kind of like history you're trying to get into and the details of all of it. Yeah.
What is under there? Just streamline it for me.
They're the repurposed remains of a ruins that were the temple dedicated to the gods of both the sea and the earth. But they've been used for, they were renovated and used for a different purpose. The lighthouse.
Quest breathes very hard for a moment, looks at Ophir and says, "Ophir, I need you to stay here. If you want, watch me from the door, but I think something might have happened to Antonia."
Yeah.
I'm gonna sprint outside. Do I see stuff growing up? Do I see the
Yes,
things that Antonia
you do.
saw?
It is overtaken about 85% of the tower. Before it was like a growth that was kind of like 10-20%. In the short amount of time you have been inside, it has spread and devoured, and you are seeing the thing that Antonia saw far off in the distance of this massive titan of water just heading towards Sidmaro Bay.
Does it look like I can climb whatever is growing up the sides of this
You're
lighthouse?
welcome to try.
I would love to try.
Roll for that. I'm going to say this is at least, you know what? This is
Quest.
Everyone's like, do it. This is a hard ass thing. I'm going to say this is a challenge 4.
Okay.
This is hard. It's wet seaweed. Needing to just do this, see what you can do.
Okay, so
if there's something that you have that can lower the potential challenge or add to your pool, that's also a possibility. Remember, if you have a trick that can help you to lower the challenge, or you can add one die to your check if you use a talent or an approach.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
What would I use to represent willpower, sheer willpower?
Sheer willpower? That is a good question. Let's see. I think if you're going from the perspective of withstanding something, so endurance and constitution would be body withstand. If you're like a plot, I would say I would even let that be mind percept, but I'm leaning towards something.
I'll take body withstand.
Body withstand. Let's go with that.
May I assist?
Yes, you may. If you would like to add in 2 from a relevant pool, so it would be body. And this is from your pools, not from your core points. This is from your pools. If you spend 2, you can give an automatic success to Quest, and you can describe how you help Quest.
I was thinking of using my Mirage Craft, actually, to shape what she's climbing to make it easier and maybe make
that is a good use. That will lower the challenge to a 3.
Okay.
That is a perfect use of it.
And with withstand, that did give me an extra die because that's the only one that I have put another point into.
Excellent. So roll that. Okay. Let's see what it is. 4 and above. You need 3 of these to succeed to do this.
Fuck yeah. Okay. That is 4.
That is enough. You're trying to climb to the top of this tower like immediately.
Yeah.
You reach the top in no time flat. It's like an unerring level of speed and tenacity just pushes you up. You feel memories of having done this multiple times in your life. This is not new to you. This is your bread and butter. You reach the top and you see you find Antonia. She's up there. Even though Antonia experienced like falling through the door, she's still up there. She's passed out entirely, and you have the clearest view of what is coming because you could not see even further behind that titan of water. There is a massive fog cloud coming. It is about to envelop the entire area.
Get out of here. This is not my cat. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 sec. Go. I didn't know you were in here. I thought I locked you outside. Okay.
Cat, that's cat disadvantage, everyone. It's our new thing we might implement.
No!
It actively invokes
disadvantage is he keeps breaking into my house.
When it's not your cat.
Carry on. Come on. Let's keep the pace going. Keep it.
Okay.
What are you doing? How do you react in this moment, Quest?
I'm gonna do something stupid.
Something foolish. What are you doing, foolish?
Yes.
Foolish. I would like to scoop, if I may, if I'll roll whatever I need to, pick Antonia up.
Okay.
And then I would like to jump out the window and turn it so that my body takes the brunt of it because I have the blazing fire death mark.
What does the blazing fire death mark do? But please tell me.
The blazing fire death mark reduces the challenge you face by 1 in life or death situations.
Okay, this is going to this would be a challenge 4. I think this is going to be the last roll before I move into it. Mirage, do you want to try and use Mirage Craft to?
Please, I think Ophir has been watching this whole thing happen from the door and has been like making flowers grow as better footholds and shit. Sees you come out with her in hand and like looking ready to jump, and he's like, oh no. And is going to try and like make something softer for you to land on, or like vines to grab onto, or something to help.
So that will reduce it from a 4 to a 3, and then Quest, you said that reduces the challenge of it?
Yes.
So that's a 2. So you roll, you need 2 successes. Pray you don't suck at this one, because this is the last big one before you all see this. Let's go. Come on, buddy.
Why did you say that to me?
Because evil.
3.
So all you needed, you straight up, it will do some damage, but it's reduced severely because, oh boy, oh buddy.
Quest looks out the window, looks at the drop and goes, I can probably take it. And there's no further hesitation.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was going to be 2 points of damage to your vitality. It'll only be 1 point with the success. Had you failed that, it would have been auto 2, and I would have even considered, depending on degree, 3. Because this is like huge ass, like lighthouse. You land, you crash. Oh, everything hurts for a good couple of seconds, if not more. But it's in this moment, and this is going to be the last moment that I'm going to leave us all out on before this is what we're leaving on the finale for the mid-season finale. Quest and Ophir, you look, Quest, you land, and you're like, okay, thank you, Ophir. Ophir, you turn to look, and you see the thing that has been growing slowly coming this way. The fog cloud behind it. And you also see that there is a variety of what appear to be creatures bubbling beneath the surface, emerging on the like very bottom of the cliff face, slowly climbing up. Quest, behind you, you see there are folks, you hear folks are panicking as they're becoming aware of what is coming. And you also see out in the distance something else, an entity with a trilobite-like face emerging out of the ground, seemingly to meet this titan of water, a titan of earth appearing. Antonia, Ren, Jimena, the 3 of you, seemingly tranquil, but pulled out of the different, like, difficult memories you've been in, you find yourself all encased in an orb of water. It's warm and comforting. But out in the distance, you can see there's the edge of a portrait. A way to get out of here. We will see if you make it next time, as we are going to pick up, I believe it's somewhere in July with this, as y'all, this is the mid-season finale for Afterlife Hotel Nexus. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks who've been here. We are leaving on a big dramatic moment with all of this, as 3 of the party are down. One of you just literally jumped out of a building, and the other one is frantically trying to just Mirage craft stuff to make it safe. And 3 of you are now, you are in a goldfish bowl.
Ooh.
Because I have to describe it that way, because it reduces the tension, and it makes me feel better about the terrible things I put you all through. Kind of, not really. But so, thank you everybody for tuning in for this. We are going to just sort of wrap this up right here, and then we're going to be moving on to our next bit of stuff. But before we get into that, everyone, let's go around, introduce yourselves real quick. Just 1 or 2 things very quickly you're involved in and who you've been playing. So just try and keep it similar. I believe, who did I say? I think I said, was it DK who I said first?
Sure.
DK.
Hi, hello, I'm DK, and when I'm not here, which I won't be, you can find me over on Exquisite Corpse Presents doing stuff for Pride, and on Monday we have a full day of Juneteenth events with some special guests and some panels that we're very excited about, so you should come, probably. Also, I was Quest.
Fantastic, fantastic. And passing it on over to Mirage.
That's me. Hi, I'm Mirage. I am everywhere as Ultra Mirage. I play Ophir. My commissions are open. I am an artist. I will gladly draw your tabletop character. So hit me up. My Twitter is Ultra Mirage Art. That is all.
Fantastic. Passing it over to Antonia. Gina. I got lost in your character for a sec.
Hi, I'm Gina. I played Antonia. You can find me on Twitter at _GinaThan. You can also find me on next Thursday is our series finale on Sword and Key. Our Invisible Sun campaign, Fraying Threads, is finally wrapping up. Everything else is on YouTube. That's on Thursdays, and I think that's next week. We're off this week. There's a dev scene. You can check out the YouTube. Sword and Key. Yeah.
Fantastic. The incomparable Diana, you're up next.
Hello, I go by Diana Moon. You can find me on Twitter at Diana Moon or on YouTube and Twitch at xDianaMoonX. You can find me next Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Horde of Tales as we do Shiver, a horror RPG. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be playing the survivalist, aka the one that has to survive, but I am a 19-year-old intern on their last day. I just wanted my check. That's all.
One day till I get paid. It's my last day before I get paid.
That is so real.
Yeah. And last but not least, our amazing, of our cast, last but not least, our amazing, fantastic producer and beacon of dance and joy, Ida.
Hi! Thank you very much. My name is Ida. You can find me at In The Pan on Twitter, where I mostly retweet when I'm on. Just a reminder, if you check out Crit_Awards, it is a small community voting initiative where we vote for our peers what we thought were the best music, soundtrack, homebrew, GM, player, etc. Girls Run These Worlds is nominated for best story in an RP for the Aliens RPG. Vote for that. A very special crit moment that was GM'd by Angela on Horde of Tales is nominated. Go vote for that. There's a charity initiative that I pour my heart and soul to called Roll for Good. Please, please, please vote for that one, etc. I believe the closing date is 1st of July, so I'm not going to be able to remind you again before we see you on July 19th when we come back.
Yes,
so
it would be like a month.
A lot to me if you would go check out Crit_Awards and vote for the things I mentioned and anything else near and dear to your heart. Please and thank you.
And last but not least, hello there, lovelies. I'm Angela Lemos Mogrejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I have been your fantastic GM, fairy woman, purveyor, and facilitator of great happiness, joy, and food descriptions, and then heartbreaking moments of revelation. It's what I do best. It's my bread and butter. I am the Firebird of chaos. But also, I am not the only one who needs to be showcased, because we have some amazing things that I have to do a quick shout out for. Number one, motherfuckers, at the time of this release, the Thursday of June 15th, we are going to be having the Zine 3 for Girls Write These Worlds is going to be released. It's Pride Month, baby. We got our Pride Zine coming out. We have so many fantastic bits of art. Writers, our own Mirage has contributed some amazing things to that. And also, 11,299 words, people. So many words, so many things. Come and support us. Genuinely support queer creators, support pride efforts. The world is not safe for a lot of us, especially a lot of our QT BIPOC, queer and trans POC, Black and Indigenous folks, and just everyone who even is perceived as a threat to anything that involves cishet or normativity and white supremacist understandings of the world. Y'all, support the dreams, support the ambitions, support the efforts by folks to imagine otherwise, to imagine our joy as constitutive of our lives as opposed to a rare occasion and a luxury that we enjoy. The lighting on that is so amazing. Mirage, bless you. And last but not least, because I have to absolutely shout this out, we are going to be having a Juneteenth game, folks. We have Pride one-shots and such and all that, but I want to specifically take some time to shout out the Juneteenth game because we have an all-black cast. We are celebrating thriving Black excellence. Come sit a spell with Arnica, Ava, Nita, Simiko, and Lily Lescribe. Holy shit. Amazing group. I've played with or interacted with or helped facilitate with different things. Pretty much everyone in that group. Can't confirm. All amazing. Love them all. So good. Hey, support amazing Black art. Support amazing Indigenous art. Support amazing POC art every day. Support the folks who are queer and trans. Support the folks who are disabled. Support everyone at every intersection and overlap, and know that we have many aspects. We are multidimensional, and we are people with complexity, sometimes hypocrisies, and our own just weird shit. Sometimes some of us just want to be weird. Support us in that. Support us in being weird. Support us in being sad. Support us in being happy. Let us live the lives that folks that pretty much else takes for granted that they get to have, and let us revel in gay feelings, because truly, gay feelings. But that is it, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in for this, and we hope to see you July 19th when we come on back, and we are going to be rating Wild Witch RP, who are playing D&D right now. So do the waves, everyone, and as always, take care of yourselves. Take your meds. We love you, and we'll see you for our 5th session when we come back in a little over a month. Bye, folks.